In September of 2022, after COVID seemed to be settling down a bit, we did a Viking Rhine River Cruise. The cruise started in Amsterdam and went down the Rhine to Basil, Switzerland. The trip is actually only one way, but we did a double trip and went back up the Rhine. Because of that, we hit Cologne twice. One day it was rainy and the other day it was sunshine, so you'll see that difference in the photos. On the way down, the Rhine water level was so low we couldn't dock in Cologne, so we docked elsewhere and had to be bussed in. But on the way back, the water levels had risen, so we were able to dock right outside the city and just within walking distance. The first store I saw only sold drums and Zildjian cymbals, so I figured that this is going to be a good day. We walked right into the shopping district. Not my favorite place, but it is someone else's. Cologne was totally level during the Second World War, so the concept of old city around the cathedral really is no more than a description, or at least for me. The city was rebuilt and it is still being built as a very modern city. This is the stuff that nightmares are made of. Starbucks is everywhere. Oh, and your American cards and points don't work here. The German city of Cologne was founded in the 1st century as a Roman colony. It was taken by the Franks in the 5th century and became an important city of medieval Germany. It has a long history and played many important parts in Europe's history and development. This is the focal point of everyone's visit to Cologne. The cathedral. It's just so massive that you can't really get a complete picture of it from the ground without doing some panoramic distorted footwork. All these sculptures and statues actually mean something or represent something or someone, but I have no idea myself. The tour guide told us, but it just went in one ear and out the other. Cologne Cathedral, or the Church of St. Peter, is a Catholic cathedral, and it is one of Germany's most visited landmarks, attracting an average of 20,000 people a day. On this particular cruise, Viking customers get to go up the tower. However, since it's about 500 feet up, it wasn't anything I wanted to do. My feeling is I shouldn't be that high off the ground without a parachute or an airplane. However, my travel partner did have the courage to go up there, and if allowed, since you have to ask permission to show pictures of the inside of the tower, it will be a separate video. The site of the cathedral had already been occupied by several previous structures. The earliest may have been for grain storage and possibly was succeeded by a Roman temple, but the construction of the current cathedral began in 1248, but it was halted in the years around 1560, 300 years later, and still unfinished. Attempts to complete the construction began around 1814, but the project was not properly funded until the 1840s. Supposedly, this is the tomb of the 3 wise men. One of the archbishops of Cologne, let's say, acquired it from a church in Milan. But here it is, and everyone can make up their own mind about what it is. The cathedral suffered 14 hits by aerial bombs during World War II. Badly damaged, it nevertheless remained standing in an otherwise completely flattened city. The twin spires were an easily recognizable navigational landmark for Allied aircraft bombing. We are a strange species. In March of 1945, there was intense fighting between the 3rd Armored Division and German panzers in Cologne. My father could have even been here. Repair and maintenance work is constantly being carried out in one section of the building or another. It is very, very rare to have the place completely free of scaffolding because wind, rain, and pollution slowly eat away at the stones. Back to the shopping area. While my partner went into the stores, I went to a coffee shop and I got what is called a Berliner. It turned out to just be a sugar jelly donut. It was still pretty good. There are pieces of Roman ruins around, but like much of the city, they were also blown to bits. Although there is a remnant of a Roman road, it was actually reconstructed recently just using the old materials. We were docked very close to a Lindt chocolate museum and chocolate factory. Watching the process and the explanation of the growing, harvesting, and transporting of the bean was amazing. I never knew so much work and thought went into what takes me about 2 minutes to polish off. Maybe he's the patron saint of chocolate watching. This is a multi-leveled, multi-building facility. A 600 euro chunk of chocolate artwork, including a Santa. This person took a sort of shell and covered it with chocolate and gave it to people all day long. After walking around town and the chocolate factory, we went back to the dock and I had a strudel. On to Koblenz.